My name's Aaron, welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic. Today I am reviewing Caroline Herrera 212 Men. So this has been on my peripheral vision for years and years and years, but I've never smelt it actually. The cost is £51 for 50ml or £67 for 100ml. Okay, doesn't really make sense to me. Oh, it's an eau de toilette. Top notes are cut grass, ginger, gardenia, sandalwood and incense. Do we have a full-size bottles? Are we engaged with our higher self? Let's get testing. This is very nice, actually. The incense notes are beautiful in this. That's the first, I automatically love woody, dark, incensey notes, so I very much like this. It smells very, very high street. So that is the first thing. And there's not a criticism at all. It's just what is coming to mind. I think this is really classic designer perfumery, just sort of what you would expect. There is nothing frightening in this. It's just very easy to wear. The projection is really fantastic. The cut grass note is very interesting. I've not come across this before, so this is actually something very new to me. And that's going to be linalool mixed with some ozonic notes, mixed with some green notes, to get in that expansive quality. Quanal or something that is in this, giving it that ozonic quality, that sort of lift. It is juxtaposed against some lactonic qualities. I've spoken about this before, and lactonic qualities give a dewy feel. So this is a really good combination of sort of ozonic compounds and lactonic qualities to give. There's one called jasmolone actually, and jasmolone is I use that one, and that gives a dewy feel. This is backed against hedione and isoe super. And hedione is a really lovely aroma chemical. It's part of these sort of jasmine compounds, and it's used massively, and it's a really good carrier, and it gives lift and elevation. It can be worn on its own actually, but it's primarily used, I use it to give sort of lift and elevation and a slight sort of diffusive quality. So this is a very diffusive fragrance. The cut grass note, the dewy note, I should rather say, because is really cleverly done, is not overpowering. This is sweet, just some slight dry sweetness to it. This has not been overdone. I'm not detecting any gardenia at all. I love gardenia. Gardenia is something I haven't used yet, and I'm thinking of using it in the future in the woman's fragrance. I'll be starting to develop. That development process is going to be quite long, about 6 to 12 months, I would have thought. So the sandalwood raw material is not sandalwood, and there's nothing wrong with that, because sandalwood can be very, very dense and very, very heavy. But there are lots and lots and lots of sandalwood aroma chemicals. I think I've got 6 or 7, and you can use them in different ways. So some give you a feel of sandalwood, some are a sweet sandalwood, some are a top note sandalwood, some are a base note sandalwood, and you can combine them in different ways to do different things. It's actually masses, there's more than that, there's loads. And then so you have your sandalwood raw materials like sandala and sandal and all these sort of things. And there's one which is a massively long aroma chemical name, but is shortened to 4 letters, IBCH, I think. And then on top of that, you have things like luxolone, and you have aroma chemicals which sort of smell woody and give you woody facets and can be used in different ways in different formulations. This smells sort of slightly vetiver actually, so there is a vetiver raw material in this, but not vetiver, to give that sort of greenness. The incense is gone actually. You're just left with a very clean, stable decent. The musk in this is ethyl brassowite or galaxolide. I would know the choice of musks with I think it's called tonicade or something. This is a very clean white musk combined with some white floral notes combined with some sort of aroma chemicals. I'm not detecting many, if any, naturals at all, but it doesn't really matter if you were paying £57 for 50ml and this is sticking to the skin. So this is just really well crafted. I don't think you particularly think you're going to get all these things, but it's very well put together. On to my final thoughts. I think this is a really, really good, clean day scent. This is one of the better formulations I've smelt for good value for money, I'd say. I reviewed some which were sort of cheaper, and there really is a difference by going up sort of 20 or 30 pounds. There is sort of, this is sort of, you can tell the difference actually. There's a few more fixatives in here. The raw materials are chosen are sort of more expensive. And that's the thing which you've got to think about. If you're paying 20 pounds for a day scent, you're not going to get a particularly complex, interesting formulation, and it's not really going to last. And so by going up sort of 20 pounds, you're going to get something, I think, of better quality. It's just so stable, so linear, and so safe. And you've heard me talk about this before, and it's something I want to pick apart really. When you go to develop a fragrance, it's a very long process, and there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you don't see. And one of them is the sort of safety aspect, and there's a lot of safety work that goes into fragrance development, and there are sort of some chemical tests, sort of stability testing, challenge testing, which tests for if the formulation is stable against gram-positive, gram-negative bacteria, fungus, yeast and mould. And then you have stability testing, which is a 12-week cycle in different ambient conditions. And then there's something called the safety assessment. And the safety assessment makes sure that a fragrance complies with laws, regulatory laws. And you have IFRA as one part of it, and then you have SCCS, and then you have EU laws as well here. And so it has to comply with all of this, and sometimes when things are removed, like Lirol, you've heard me talk about that, it is because it causes sort of dermal sensitivity. Every fragrance out there has to have regulatory paperwork. It just has to, I mean, and the regulatory paperwork is now so sophisticated that we don't need animal testing in cosmetics at all, because we've just got such fantastic technology to take the place of it. We just don't need it anymore. But this is very, very safe, and for me, even though it's got the allergens in, limonene, linalool, geraniol, all that sort of stuff, this to me feels like if you are perhaps very sensitive to fragrance compounds, this might be really brilliant for you because it doesn't feel particularly reactive. I personally love things which are quite, got to smash them and a push to them, but unfortunately ones like that can cause dermal sensitivity. And that's sometimes the good thing about having a lot of aroma chemicals, is the fact that naturals can cause in some people some sort of sensitivity. And aroma chemicals, because they are non-biological, some of them, they don't really react against the skin. So this I'm going to recommend for people who are sensitive skinned and very, very light skinned, because I think this would be fantastic on that sort of skin type. But I've got to say, it's this is latched onto the skin massively, and I think this is just going to last and last and last and last and last. And I've got skin that doesn't hold on to fragrance at all well. So I'm going to go through my absolute technique. I think this is really, really fantastic, excellent, stable. You know what you're getting with this. Mathematically precise perfumery. The price, I think it absolutely is worth the price. I think it's fantastic because I think the longevity is going to be really good, sort of 3 to 4 hours, and projection is going to be a foot on me. Maybe if you're very light, pale skin, you know, smooth skin, it's going to project slightly further. The demographic, I think this is really good for sort of day wear, office wear. I'm still perplexed with what people do in offices, all that sort of stuff. I think this is really good as a just really non-thinking fragrance. You just sort of put it on, and I think it's very, very inoffensive. Do I like it? Yes, I like it, but there is this sort of problem where I have where it's not sort of taking me up massively because it isn't particularly exciting, but I think it's really, really classically beautiful, simple, nice, inoffensive day wear. And if you wore it, you smell nice. It's settling down lovely now, and it smells very clean and fresh, which I think is really, really nice. And that is the white floral notes in there. A trellis, I would say, is the white floral note. So I'm sort of starting to pick it up now. This is really, 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 really well done. So I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I think it's fantastic for day wear, and I really would recommend if you're after something inexpensive, inoffensive, really classic, just smells lovely. Really getting this. I think it's really good, and I'm very happy that I bought this one because I really want to recommend something sort of slightly less than the £100 and something to people, and this I think is really, really good. So I hope that love that review. Thumbs up and subscribe for more frantic dancing hand, excited unicornness, and lots and lots of fragrance views. Hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you soon.